What's up, guys? Welcome back. Another episode of the Average Money Podcast, Season 2. Here we go. Season 2, we're back. JJ is here in New York. We're going to find a nice natural stopping point because we just recorded, actually twice, because we started for 30 minutes, which you will hear about as we just enter, but kind of letting you know where we've been, what's going on, what you can expect from the Average Money Podcast moving forward. If this is your first time, well, welcome. It's been 3 years. Where the hell have you been? My name is Brad Finn. I am joined every single week, hopefully more in person. JJ Buckner. JJ, how the fuck we doing, bud?
It's been a while.
Too long.
Too long.
But you'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll talk about, honestly, I think the main reason why this episode happened today.
All those things.
Yeah.
And please know that we are going to record, and we're back. This is not a fake episode. I guess we'll find a nice natural stopping point. Let's start this podcast right now. You ready to rock?
You got to tell them what happened.
No, I'll tell them after.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell them after.
We're rusty.
We're rusty. I'll tell them because we kind of have to play out. All right, I'll fucking tell you. We just recorded for 30 minutes, guys. We're back. We just recorded for 30 minutes.
Well, we didn't record.
Actually,
we spoke to each
We spoke
other.
for 30 minutes. And then I looked down to check my levels. And JJ was in the middle of an amazing point that we probably will never get to again. And I went,
Oh, it's not a face that I wanted to see.
but we have it on video, so maybe we'll post the video. But
Yeah,
it's going to have weird audio. But
Yeah, that's fine. We'll figure it out.
at least you'll get to see the moment when I realized. Because that probably is a pretty good video when I look down. Because you'll know.
I'll post it on the channel.
Well, we're back. This is take 2 of We're Back.
It feels good to be back, though.
Why are we back? Why are we fired up about today?
Oh, dude, the responses.
Dude, it's crazy.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
And this is why it's good sometimes to record, because we didn't get to really mention this. And
Yeah.
I thought about it like while we were mid-conversation, because to no fault of our own, we told people we were going to take a month off.
Yeah.
You were going to Jacksonville, which we'll talk about. And it's been 3.
It's been a bit.
And for the last 2 to 3 weeks, maybe, people have started really...
Oh, way before that.
People have like really started to wonder, like, where the hell are you guys? What the hell is going on here?
We're back now, bitches.
Yeah. So, although, because we always knew, you said to me a couple days ago, like, I wasn't sure this would come back.
Yes.
And I was like, it's coming back.
Well, I'm serious though, dude. Like, stuff happens.
The longer we went without recording, the worse it was going to be.
Yeah.
There was a less, and we did try and record before I went to Lake Placid months ago, and we did a live stream. We did a live stream on YouTube, and it was one of those things where I think we did market conditions. I called you. I was like, dude, we got to record what's going on, because it's been a crazy year in the markets.
Yeah.
And we've also talked about like not wanting to blow our loads. Like we have a hard stop on this episode so that we don't go on for 4 hours and then have nothing else to talk about. But it's been crazy. But I edit the podcast, and at that point, I said I have to go away. We recorded on like a Thursday night, and I was leaving Friday. By the time I got back Monday and started recording it, it had like become irrelevant.
Yep. It was all outdated.
And I think we knew also too in the back of our heads that like we probably weren't ready to be back every single week.
I was still figuring out my stuff in Florida.
Yeah. So that's why did we leave that on YouTube? I think we did.
Oh, I don't know.
But the last couple of weeks is from you and me, different people. It's not like we have like a fanboy that's like texting you, texting me.
No,
to me, it's been like
I was getting comments on TikTok about it.
Dude, and even like my close family that I didn't even know listen.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Brad, I thought you guys were only taking a month off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, you listen to the podcast?
Well, I'll say this, dude. Podcasting, I feel like, is a lot different than YouTube. On YouTube, as soon as you post a video, you're getting comments.
Yeah.
You're seeing the people, what their thoughts are, how they're reacting to this video, whatever. But it's also easy to say this, that like you forget, I guess, I don't know, like sometimes I feel like me and you are just having the conversation and I'm like forgetting that there's thousands of you out there listening with us.
Or how many times do we have conversations where we're like, damn, like I just came to visit you in Missouri. We're in New York, guys, by the way, too.
Yes, we are live.
We usually live stream the podcast. It's not live streamed for that reason.
The video will be on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, we have it recording, but we didn't go live mostly because you're here. And we'll talk about how you and why you're here. That's kind of like all things. But I will say, where's your sobriety at? It just hit 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a Friday.
We haven't even mentioned that yet.
Where's your sobriety at?
I'm in New York, baby. Let's just say that.
Could you operate a motor vehicle legally?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Me either.
No.
So we started the day off. JJ and I, in the hopes of like making it big everywhere on YouTube. And because YouTube is the only thing that keeps us accountable.
It is. But I'll say this. I haven't told anyone about that yet. So this will be the first place that I mention it. No one knows about that.
You told me.
But, okay, besides you and my wife.
Really? You haven't told your subscribers?
No one.
Why?
I don't know.
Do you want to keep it a secret?
No, we can tell it here. I probably won't say it anywhere else, but
so I have 5 YouTube channels. I have Average Money, the main channel, Brad Finn, Math and Physics Tutor, Brad Finn Day Trades, my regular Brad Finn.
Yep.
And which the regular Brad Finn I got demonetized years ago because I didn't know what monetization copyright was, whatever. But I was like, the only things that keep me accountable is YouTube videos and social media. So I've had this challenge in mind that we've spoke about on the podcast.
They up it a little bit. It's not the only thing, right, but they definitely help.
We tried the mile streak. I don't know when that was. Olivia won it. I think she got like 50 to 75 days.
Yeah, I killed
her. I was in Colorado. She traveled that week. I couldn't wait to run a mile with her. But we tried. Me and you both sucked. I sucked a little less than you. You sucked the most. You sucked the most?
I sucked the most.
Okay. So I really wanted to knock this mile challenge out. And I said, the only way I'm going to be able to knock this mile challenge out is if I make YouTube videos about it.
Because think about how you started YouTube before.
Same with the debt.
Paying off your debt.
Yeah, like I use it to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
So I said to my wife, I'm going to do a Brad Finn runs because I have Brad Finn Day Trades. So I'm gonna do Brad Finn runs and I'm gonna record videos of different stupid running challenges because when I watch YouTube, I watch some pretty dumb running challenges. And it's funny, and you could probably attest to this. 5 years ago, my wife would have divorced me. Been like, you are a fucking loser, dude. Like you're gonna make a running YouTube channel. But now it's like in Half Baked when they tell the guy in jail that they're gonna go sell drugs. He's like, yeah. Go.
Yes. Yep.
Go sell. No high fives. Sell. Like I told my wife, I'm like, I think I'm gonna try and like do a Brad Finn run. She's great idea, Brad. Great.
Yep.
Great. One, she knows it's gonna motivate me.
Yep.
And 2, she knows that I'm probably gonna monetize it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So I started Brad Finn runs, and I'm gonna do these weird running challenges. I'm done mile streak day 40. We did day 40 today.
But the goal to do it for a full year.
At least. I feel like if I get to a year, I'll just go.
I'll keep running for sure.
Like 1,000 days sounds really, really cool to me.
Yeah.
Like it has like a year.
A lot, dude.
It has a year like that people have done. I feel like 1,000 days is like above average, but not elite. That's kind of where I like to hold my vibes. Long story short, we did a beer mile today. And on Brad Finn runs, I failed the beer mile on 4th of July.
Yeah.
Because if you throw up, you're disqualified.
I saw that. And I was like, I need to try that.
I threw up on my 4th beer. And you said, yeah, like I want to try that. Now I've done the beer mile. Guys, I like to have a cocktail or two. I've tried it. I've done it many times. And this time on 4th of July, I was all fired up. 4th of July, I was having a block party. You can watch the video. I went out too hard. And I threw up everywhere. Disqualified. But if you don't know, so essentially,
what's the beer mile?
You have to chug a beer over 5% ABV, and then run a quarter mile, and repeat 4 times. So essentially, you have 4 beers to drink. The last beer is before your last quarter mile, and you finish running. And you commented on the video like, "Oh man, next time
challenge accepted."
Yeah, or next time I'm in New York, we got to do that.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey man, it's 10 o'clock in the morning."
9 o'clock my time.
We don't have to drive anywhere. Yeah, because you got in yesterday. We don't have to drive anywhere. Let's do a beer mile. And I will say this. I'll give you credit where credit's due. I thought you were going to veto that immediately. Nah, dude, I gotta drive up to Maine tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. You were like, done.
Yeah.
So we have 4 beers in us.
We did it. And quick, too.
I'm drinking my 5th beer. You're drinking
A little ice water.
But you know how to pace yourself. I don't.
You don't know how to pace yourself. I know it's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever it is.
12. It's 1.
Okay.
It's 12 your time.
Yeah.
I'll give you the jet lag.
Okay.
I'll give you the jet lag.
And, I know what usually the days in New York bring. So I'm just, a little drink of water. And I also have a 5-hour trip tomorrow.
I said in my Instagram, when you come visit here, it's going to be a good day.
I love New York.
We started drinking gin and tonics late.
Oh, and they hit perfect.
But this is the first time you've drove here.
Yeah, I did drive here.
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All right.
I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We have a talking point.
You control it, dude. It's your show.
That's right. It's my show. It's like a boy band. If you leave, I will Justin Timberlake the shit out of this boy band. So the reason we ended season 1, I think we blamed it on your trip to Florida. I think we both also needed a little break from it.
We needed a break.
Hands
down.
We had recorded multiple times a week for over a year.
Yep.
And I think we were both just getting to the point where we just need a break.
Because we have so much other shit going on top of that.
Yeah, and it's not like this is low on the priority list, but it was just it was kind of low on the priority list.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, we had shit to get done. And I think the conversation we had, and maybe we talked about it in this episode, was we should shut it down for a month instead of force it.
Yes.
But now we have so much.
A lot.
The reason we shut it down, or the excuse that we gave for shutting it down, was that you were going to Jacksonville, Florida. Your wife is a travel nurse. You have travel nurse contract before in Hawaii, pre-kids.
Pre-kids. It's an important note there.
Because I want you to talk to maybe people that have a girlfriend or boyfriend that's doing travel nursing or is in the situation. Because I've asked you about doing it for years, and you always said the kids was a kind of a big effing deal. Mm-hmm. So you were like, at least we got to try.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 3-4 months.
It's crazy.
Was it worth it? I kind of, we're friends, but was it worth it?
Hands down, yes. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. So first, to start off with, it started off as a horrible decision. If you guys saw my Instagram, it was rough. One night we didn't think we were going to have a place to stay. We were going to be living on the streets with my kids. Obviously that wouldn't happen, but that's basically what went down. And I remember talking to Lindsay that night. I'm like, did we do the right thing here? Should we really be doing this with 2 kids and a dog? But after we got our living situation figured out, and also I got settled in a little bit because I was taking on a whole new role. I'm now coming from working for myself full-time Monday through Friday, or sometimes weekends, to now being a part-time stay-at-home dad. 3 days a week from sunup to sundown.
These wives do more than we know they do.
Wait, I'm telling you right now, boys.
We have similar roles in the household. Our wives both take on a large majority.
They're saints
of the fine. There's so much fine print. I always thought, I'm 40.
Hang on. Tara getting groceries today, when she was writing her list. It's Lindsay's job.
Yeah. No, it's her job, but those
it is. That's her job.
That's her role.
Yeah.
I like to use the word role.
Whatever. I have jobs in the household. She has jobs in the household.
Yes.
Or roles, whatever you want to call it.
But I used to think that it was keep the kids alive and make sure they don't go to jail.
Right.
I never realized the fine print that wives and some husbands understand. Like you said, stay-at-home dad. When Tara goes away for a couple nights, or she doesn't go away for a couple nights. She goes away for a night or 2 with the girls. Even when forget nights, even when she goes to beach volleyball,
for
gets
a
home.
Couple hours.
Yeah, and she gets home she's she sits me down because she knows I'm not paying attention. She's like, Brad, look at me, focus. Mm-hmm. I'm going out tonight. Yeah, Tyra, go ahead. You're like, great, have a great time. No. I'll be out during dinner, bath time,
Yep.
bedtime,
The hardest time of the
brush
night.
teeth time. And I'm like, whoa, Miss Lippy. All right, come back to center. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So was that the hardest part about going to Florida?
For sure. Hands down. Like trying to learn the kids' schedule compared to mine versus how mom does things during the day to how dad does things. Because Lindsay and I are different. We are like, Lindsay's a saint, and I don't know how she does half the shit she does with those kids. So I had to find my happy medium. I'm not mom. I'm not Lindsay, and I'm not as good as mom or Lindsay. Or not Lindsay, but as mom whenever she's in that state. So dad's going to have his own thing, his own way of doing things. And, I figured that out. Once I figured that out, we were set. We were rolling. Everything was good. And I would say the first 2 to 3 weeks was a learning experience. Once that was over, one of the best decisions we've made, dude. So a lot of people have asked me about, like, what are we going to do with Mace because he's starting kindergarten this year. So now the reason I'm up here, so I just drove to New York, 17-hour drive, got in last night, and I'm driving up here because I'm in the process of moving to Maine, Portland, and we're going to be up there for 3 months.
So you're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
It was good enough to do it again.
Absolutely.
But I think it's also for anyone new listeners and stuff. You went to Jacksonville, Florida, but you're from small town Missouri.
Yes. Nothing
so
around.
Not only was this a move with kids, you being Mr. Mom, but also a slight culture shock. Can I use that word?
Huge culture shock.
Yeah, because I've been to your place. I actually just got back from your place. We're going to see each other like 3 times in 3 weeks. It's crazy. We're not dating.
But we did go to a cave together with no one else around.
Got to follow on Instagram for all that stuff. But yeah, no, you went home for like a week. And then when you were like, yeah, we're taking on another contract. I'm like, wow. Like, and now you're going to Portland, Maine, which is going to be also very different from Southern Missouri.
And Florida. Yeah.
And I know a little more Maine. Like, to me, Florida, sorry, Floridians, is like where dead people go to die. We call it heaven's waiting room.
Okay.
All right. Everyone drives really slow. It's really, really hot. They never, you know how old people they wear sweaters when it's 90.
Yeah.
Like, that's Florida. Okay. DeSantis may be changing that, but we don't talk politics. Eh? It did maybe like,
or maybe we do in season 2. You know?
Not yet. But now you're going up to Portland. I know Portland, Maine, and I've said to you, I think, because I know how you're excited or how much you liked Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
I think Maine is going to just blow your socks off. It's going to be different, expensive. So worth talking. That's maybe something we'll talk about when you get up there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like with the money, but I've heard it's more expensive, but it's one of my favorite places. I love it up there. It's awesome. And Portland's great.
Yeah, we're excited to, we're also going to be living like downtown. So Lindsay and I have in Waikiki, but we've never really as like a family or anything lived in a city. And we're going to be like straight downtown Portland.
And everyone in New York City and everyone in LA is like, Portland, Maine's not a city, bud.
Oh, that's straight city to me. Like
you need a 25-story building to be a city.
Gosh, that's nuts. The crazy thing is to think about like walking out the front door and like being at streets.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me.
Right.
So that's going to be a big culture shock for sure for me and the kids and Lindsay, and even whenever I just have them. But we are looking forward to it. I'm excited for the food. The beer scene up there is pretty solid from what I've heard. And everyone I've talked to, no one has had a single thing that's bad to say about Maine.
Like when you went to Jacksonville, I was like, oh, it's so hot there. Like nobody has anything bad to say about Maine.
No, nothing.
Right.
Except I have a few people have said that they couldn't live there during the winter.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Your wife hates cold.
She does not like cold.
That's the one thing I'm scared of. Because it's going to get cold there quick. But you guys, you'll be out of there before it's winter.
Yeah, we leave like right before Halloween.
Obviously, I guess not because you're doing it again, but how did Jacksonville affect your work schedule?
Definitely took a hit on my end. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it harder? Did you like, what was the differences? If anybody's like nomadic, because you essentially can make content anywhere.
Yeah.
and you can record videos anywhere. So what's the big deal with going there? How did it affect your schedule?
Biggest thing was I was not as motivated for 2 reasons.
You're on vacation.
On vacation for 3 months.
How long did it feel like a vacation the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
Like there was days though where I was like, I'd like to be back home and like working and getting some stuff done. But the next day we'd wake up like, oh, we're going to these natural springs in the middle of Florida. Like, hey, let's go. It's vacation. You know what I mean?
All right. So unmotivated.
And then also was Lindsay's making money.
So that,
and she's making decent money as a travel nurse.
So like, you mean as far as like the portion of your work schedule that you feel you're required to do because of
gotta pay bills.
You put money on the table.
Yeah.
She's been a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
So now that she's making some money, you're like, oh, I can let my foot off the gas a little bit, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Like both of our work-life balances probably aren't where they need to be.
Right.
So that was good too.
Yes. And 100 dudes made my life 100 times better.
Did you stay in like Airbnbs? Did you get a long-term rental, month to month? How did it work when you were there?
It was like an Airbnb, but it wasn't booked on the actual website. It was like a short-term rental for like travel nurses. And
there's a website for that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is?
Furnishedfinders.com.
Furnished Finders. So that's like medium-term rentals?
Yeah, like you can rent it like month to month, and it's got furnished units anywhere in the city or anywhere in the country. Major cities.
When you were there for a month, you were like, all right, should we do this? And then I was ending work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I get out on June 25th is my last day. And then I went to Colorado for like 2 weeks.
Talk about that for a second though, because it sounds like me and you may be going somewhere next year.
Dude, you're so right. So like in the risk of sounding like a superstar, I got asked to speak at CampFI. Now I've known about CampFI for years. I started my YouTube channel as Financial Independence, this, that, and the other thing. And they have like 10 events throughout the year. CampFI.org, not sponsored, but we're going. And I have wanted to go. My daughter was born, then my son was born, this, that, and the other thing. And there's none in the Northeast. I think Virginia is about as south as I need to go. And I've wanted to go. And then this year I was talking to my good buddy, Carl Jensen. He has an amazing blog, Mr.1500days.com. He's from Longmont, Colorado. The Long Monsters, shout out to the Long Monsters. He also co-owns Mr. Money Mustache headquarters. So we all know Mr. Money Mustache. Carl co-owns that with him. And every time we go there, the hospitality is insane. Dude gave me a Tesla tequila, like not even out of the box. So I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, man, I know you spoke at CampFI. Is it worth it? Because it's expensive. It was like $450. And he's like, I go every one I can go. And he brings his whole family. And I'm like, I think this year's the year I'm going to pull the trigger. And they have one in Colorado, but it was in Colorado Springs, which is about 2 hours south of Denver. And it was 4th of July weekend. I was like, no can do, SA. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not for me. I have a huge block party. They opened up a second week because it filled so much and because Colorado is so huge on the FI scene. I call up Carl. I'm like, I'm going to that, man. Like, any chance you want to go? I would love to come to Colorado. And he's like, yeah. He goes, don't sign up yet. Let me get all the details. And I was like, okay. About a day later, I get a call from the owner, the founder. And he's like, hey, I was talking to Carl Jensen. He says you're the type of guy that we need to speak at one of these CampFIs. They have 4 speakers. It's 4 days. You check in Friday afternoon, you leave Sunday. And I was like, what? Like, you want me to speak?
It's pretty cool.
Now, last year I spoke at Mr. Money Mustache headquarters and made an idiot out of myself when I got 10 minutes and then they cut me off at 40. So I'm like, I need to redeem myself in Colorado. So I said, hey, I'll do it. And was terrified. I thought almost he was joking. He was like, get me your email address and I'll make everything happen. And this was probably like before the new year, like October of last year. And I'm like, there's not me with the anxiety of like, nobody likes me. You know, I'm like, he's going to find an excuse to not have me out there. Well, I said to Tara, no, I did not get paid to speak there. I did it. And I kind of like the influencer in me, quote unquote, wanted to get paid for it. But when you just know that there's a great opportunity that's there, you're like, F it.
Yeah.
You know? And I like honest people too. I said, hey, can I bring my wife? And he said, hey, I operate on pretty small margins. I kind of need to sell your wife a spot. She can come, but I can only gift you a spot. And I was like, I love a man of honesty too. So I'm like, it just fired me up to go there. The experience. So I drove out. I said to my wife, hey, we're going out there. And I brought up the money thing because it was only going to be a write-off to go there. Like to fly there and things like that would be a business write-off. But I said to Tara, like, hey, we've never brought the kids away for a long extended period of time like you just did. JJ just did it. I kind of want to do it.
Yeah.
And she goes, we love Colorado. We have so many mutual friends there. Let's go to Colorado. So I drove out there to save money on flights and also rent a cars with 2 car seats. It was like almost $850 a day. So I did the 30 hours out there. Stopped in St. Louis. You weren't home from Florida yet, so I stayed in a hotel. Got there. Dude, CampFI, I was on a podcast with Go Bucket Yourself, a great podcast. And we did kind of like reactions from the people at camp. I cannot explain to you how much my mind was blown. Like I said, not sponsored. If I didn't give a shit, I wouldn't even mention it. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that we're going back. And you said that because I have said so many times, like, I can't believe I slept on this.
Well, just from what you told me,
I can't believe we slept on this. And it was like, when I even got the schedule too, you check in Friday and then like he gives you a full itinerary, but there's just so many blocks. Like the only time he requires your time is like 3 hours a day. Like there's 4 speakers. On Saturday, 2 people speak for about an hour. And then on Sunday, 2 people speak for an hour, blah, blah, blah. Fed me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Awesome food. There was probably about 50 campers there. Some influencers, some had content. All the speakers blew my mind. But I could not believe how many people were like financial independent, that like don't have content.
Yeah.
Like blew my mind. I literally, the first thing I said to you is like, I legitimately think I made lifelong friends. Lifelong friends. Like I met a couple, Emily and James from Alabama. They're going to be lifelong friends to me. Mm-hmm. You know, and Jake Simon he's a long monster, lifelong friend of mine.
So 2 things on that. It's nice to be able to get around people doing better than you.
Oh God.
Which is,
you asked me that. You're like, where were you in the tier of success?
Yeah.
And I was like, no bullshit, man. Like that was the imposter syndrome of speaking.
Yep.
And I went in there like thinking like, okay, I'm confident. Mm-hmm. I have things I value. But then like I didn't speak till Sunday. I was the last talk.
So
for my anxiety,
it's
not
tough.
good. But like I started talking to people. We had a good time. We were drinking. And every single person I met was just like, wait, excuse me? Or you did what? Like here I was going to like promote my paperback book that sold 70 copies. And it was like, oh yes, I'm a 2-time Amazon #1 bestseller. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, how old are you? She's like, oh, I'm 22 years old.
Hang on though. But but let's speak on that for a second though, because on the opposite end, there was also the people there who were looking to get started in FI, and they're like the 18-year-old kid that came up by himself.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, like,
it's two opposite ends of the spectrum.
And people that brought their families, and had like little kids, like, and we say it's so cliche, but imagine our parents were talking FI when we were 16, and there was a couple like,
could you imagine?
Couple like 15 young teenagers that were like miserable.
Yeah,
you know, they were like, and I can understand that because I was
the same.
But I think one day, and one of the best parts about getting older is going back and thanking your parents for all the shit that you thought was so terrible in your life, but it was meaningful. These kids, even though they were like, all they wanted to do was be home with their friends, they were definitely, one day, they'll be like, man, I was glad I met those people at CampFI.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I went there, I did that whole weekend, and then my wife flew in on the Tuesday after I ended, and then we stayed for another 2 weeks. We did a lager festival. We got an Airbnb for 2 weeks and just hung out with the Long Monsters and everybody else and did some hikes and just showed the kids other things. So everyone's like, how are you going to leave New York? The nicest time of the year is summer. Everyone's like, how are you leaving right now? you know, and I just said, we can use that excuse for so long. I want to show them the mountains. Like having my kids like drive on like next to the boulder, like foothills and like just look up or like the sun coming through in the clouds or like being able to see rain off in a distance, things that we don't experience here on Long Island. It was freaking awesome, man.
Yeah.
And then I got to drive home and came to see you. Broke up a fist fight. We went on
Oh my God.
went on a cave date you saw on Instagram. And that was really we started the story. That's really why we never started recording.
Yeah.
Because I ended school and then I went away for 3 weeks. And then I was like, oh, sweet, JJ's going home. We finally started recording and you're like, I'm going to Maine. And I'm like, you're not using this excuse on me again, man. We are starting this damn podcast up again. So now you're here because you're driving up to Maine.
Yes.
I just did the drive that you did the last week. And
but you also did it.
Oh yeah, what time?
Dude.
That was cave date day.
Cave date day turned into a full day of drinking.
And
I don't usually get to that point.
And an early evening of drinking.
Yes. I don't usually get to the point that I got when we were in Missouri, and it was past that point.
New York City or big city people. JJ took me to a bar and it was $2 beers.
Oh man, that's a rough bar.
I tipped the woman $20 and JJ looked at me like I gave her a $1 million bill. He's like, pardon? He's like, Brad, the beer's only $2 here.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And
dude.
we're talking to this guy. I forget what his name was, but he was like, I saw him. He had like 4 beers and like 3 shots, and he passed a 20 over the bar. I said to JJ, what's going on here? I got told, I was like, did you just pass 20? He's like, oh, yeah, I passed 20 over the bar. And I'm like, he's like, wow, what do you pay up there in New York? And I was like, if I wanted to go out and do what you just did, like after work, catch a buzz, get home.
A few $100s?
I got to spend $100.
Oh my God.
There's no way.
Yeah, because he was like doing shots of like whiskey and like...
He
got to meet some good old boys from Missouri. I'll just say that.
We got home at like 10 o'clock. I was feeling no pain. And knew, because I told you, I said, I have to drive 16 hours tomorrow. You have to cut me off at 5. No.
Instead of you were cutting me off.
At 5, yeah, I was breaking up fist fights.
Oh my God.
And there was people in the bar buying me Stag, which apparently is like,
yes, I forgot about that, dude.
$1 beers. It was frozen solid. She didn't even take it off our bill. But it was only $1. So it's like, what am I going to ask for, like the $1 back?
Right.
And then we got back and it was like, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And it's funny on TikTok, you know, that video is like, and it was at this moment he realized he was completely fucked.
Yep.
When we sat down like at your kitchen island at 11 o'clock and I had the spins and I was like, not to mention my wife had somewhere to be. So I had to be home.
Oh no.
I was like, oh my God. That was the moment when he realized he'd fucked up. And I was like, JJ, we need some comedy. I need some good vibes. Anything but scary movies. I don't do scary movies. I'm 40 years old. I don't do scary movies. I don't
get some wood of scales.
Yeah, I don't do thrillers. I don't like stuff jumping out at me. Like, fuck that. Like, I like to laugh. I like suspense because you were like, oh, I think it's suspense. No, this was a suspense.
I love scary movies.
This was like a suspense thriller where stuff like monsters and goblins were jumping out of the beach. I'm like, so I pretended I was super sleepy. Meanwhile, I was just covering my eyes going to sleep. But that was like 11 o'clock. And then I woke up at 1 to pee. And did not feel great. But tossed and turned till like 2. And I got on the road. And you texted me at 3. I guess you woke up to pee.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the?
I said, dude, you're an animal.
I didn't, yeah.
No way I could have done that.
And the first thing you said when you got out of the car yesterday, I do not know how you did.
I have no idea. No idea.
I just want to get home to my babies. No, dude, I don't know either.
Dude,
because there were some times where...
If you felt anything like I did, and I know you did, because I know we were both on that level, you drink more than me at Bader's.
Yeah, probably.
And
$2 beers. I had to have 10.
Dude, it was... I woke up and I could barely walk to the bathroom. That's how I felt.
I had Red Bull.
Doesn't help.
I know.
That was rough, dude.
It was one of those things where I knew if I stayed in bed till 7, I was going to feel worse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I just had to go for it.
Yep. You did. Oof.
And guys, also too, because I know there's probably people out there like, I was under the legal limit at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know, like when we got home at 11, I had stopped at 8 because I knew,
Yeah.
guys,
We ate at the bar too.
I was legal to drive.
Oh,
And then JJ got in a fight, which sobered me up immediately.
I get in a fight.
He didn't get in a fight because I was there.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so it's been a wacky couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has.
So now I'm home. I get home. My pool's a swamp. Right back into home ownership.
Yep. Oh boy, we got some stuff to talk about that too.
Pool is sorry for the but the pool is a swamp. It's clean. We went in today.
Yeah.
My AC is broken again because fuck my AC.
Hey, house stuff, dude.
My lawn is dead. My neighbor trying to be nice cut my perfect lawn with his lawnmower, so now I got weeds. Because you know when you never cut another man's, you can cut another man's lawn if you have permission.
Yeah.
Never ever cut another man's lawn with your lawnmower because your lawnmower sucks. You always cut the man's lawn with his lawnmower. Because I got weeds now. And how do I be like, hey man, thanks. I was gone for 3 weeks. Thanks for cutting my lawn. But hey, dickhead, next time, could you use my fucking lawn? Tara even said to me, she goes, what'd you expect him to do, Brad? Go into our shed and get our lawnmower? I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I expected him to do. DJ, I love you, buddy. I don't think you listen to the podcast. What if you do? Thanks so much for cutting the lawn. But you know, because also too, if DJ is listening, and I actually might tell him too, this is one thing I said, I joked, but you know when you joke, but you're really serious?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, hey man, thanks for getting your lawnmower. Now I get to live with your weeds. Ha 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 ha. And he's like, oh, you. Gonna think of myself, you fucked me, man. You fucked me good.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I'm on my 6th beer now.
Yikes. I'm ready. I mean, we got Dubco today.
Oh, we're going to the brewery?
Yeah, we got 2. Lindsay don't drink beer except those sours from Dubco, and she requested it. I got to get it for her.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
I gotta wait for my wife to get home.
Yeah.
So you're going to Maine.
Be in Maine. We're going to start doing pot episodes again.
I'm coming up there.
Yep. You'll be up there in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll do another live recording there.
Yeah.
But all of our recordings will now be on YouTube, but we're not doing live.
Right. We're going to record video.
Yep.
And then put it out as we need to.
Because live was just, I think, it hurt us.
It added a level of stress,
Yes.
and we hated that we couldn't converse with the chat.
Right.
So, like, if you want to be in the chat, the Discord is probably the best thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And shout out to everyone that stuck around in the Discord.
100%.
Right? They give us their hard-earned money, $2, $3.
Something like that, yeah.
But when we didn't come back for 3 weeks, I probably would have bailed.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, fuck these guys, I'm out. And then, now that we had anybody leave.
Also motivation to get us back on the podcast again.
So, Discord, podcast. We do have a website. We're going to try and get that going up again.
Yep.
Draw some traffic to that. We're back, guys.
We're back. Let's go, baby.
I signed a contract with myself. We're going to record. We might even record again today, which will be a following week. But it's August. Well, tomorrow's August for us. When you listen to this, it will be August
1st.
1st or 2nd?
We're putting this out Monday, aren't we?
Is that August 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's still July. Welcome to August.
Yeah.
And welcome to your commute. Unfortunately, JJ and I will not be commuting today.
Nope.
I'll be back to work soon. So I have to praise the summer life for as long as I can. And JJ's going to Portland, Maine.
Yep.
I'll be here in New York. And we have a lot to talk about.
We do.
Mostly my mind being blown by CampFI. All the way those money things to my day trading journey, which is now 6 or 7 months old. Yep. And, you know, what's going on with you? Are you going to keep traveling, this, and the other thing, and real estate?
And just other money shit, too.
We got tons of money shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Average Money Podcast. Catch you on the next episode.